Okay, welcome back. Now I've actually trimmed the brisket down so you can see compared to how it was, it's a lot flatter, and that's what we want. When we cook, we want the surface to almost be like a curve shape here. So it's going to cook a lot more evenly. Brisket's always a very tricky one to cook because of the way the brisket is. You've got the point here, which is always a thicker bit of meat, and you've got the thin bit here. And why people consider it a challenge, I guess, is because of the odd shape of a brisket. It's not a totally flat, symmetrical brisket. No briskets are. But yeah, this is what it looks like when it's all trimmed. You can see if there was a heap of fat that was here in what we call the decal area. I've taken a lot of that out as much as I can. Again, it doesn't matter that I've left a bit of fat in there. That's not going to be an issue. We've taken majority of the hard fat out. Okay. So the next step is to actually season the brisket. So I season it, and again, there's no hard and fast rule about how you do this. There's different ways of doing it. No way is necessarily better than the other, but this is what I've learned from watching a lot of I guess YouTube videos, doing a bit of research, and I've done this method a few times now, and it always has worked for me. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to grab a foil tray. It just makes it tidier when you do this. So you can see that brisket now fits quite snugly in the tray, which is kind of what you're looking for. I'm actually just found a bit of fat here that I do not like, so I'm going to trim that. I mean, you can trim a brisket all day, so at some point you do want to stop. Competition people, they'll trim a lot more fat off than you do when you're backyard barbecuing at home. But for backyard barbecue, this is fine. This is going to be just as tasty, believe me. All right, so back to seasoning. So we've got just some Worcestershire sauce, and this acts as what we call a binder. So the Worcestershire sauce, the theory behind it is not necessarily to enhance the flavour in a big way. And that's my dog's Eva. She loves meat, being a dog, but get down, good girl. Daddy's filming. Okay, so we've got some Worcestershire sauce. Let me just wipe my glove. Make sure I haven't got any of that wonderful doggy stuff on me. I actually touched it with my arm, I think, so we're good. Okay, so the Worcestershire sauce, we're going to sprinkle that. We're going to basically base this. We're going to put enough on here to create what I call a binder. So the idea of this is so your rubs can actually stick to the meat. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in the fridge. We're actually not going to be cooking until about 1 AM. And it's about, just on 5:30 now, I think. So it's going to be in the fridge for a few hours, which is fine. So we're going to put some Worcestershire sauce on here. We're going to rub it around. I'm also going to put some Worcestershire sauce in this decal bit that I actually took a lot of the fat out with. Again, so I can stick this rubble. It's basically acting as a glue, I guess. So it's going to help glue the rub down. So, all right, that's all nice. You can see it's actually changed a bit of colour with the sauce on it, so you know it's sort of covered it well. And the next thing I want to do is wipe my hands because I'm about to pick up some more seasoning. And there's many different sort of seasonings that you can choose. And there's some pretty funny names actually. This one is by an American barbecue team, I believe they are, called Meat Church. And this is actually called Holy Cow Barbecue Rub. It's a really nice rub actually. So, and I've got another jar there because I'm about to run out of this one. So, and how you season it, it's important to season the meat all over, but you don't want to bulk it up. You don't want to make it just taste like rub when you cook it. So I effectively hold it up like this. And I just sprinkle it across, like so. Make sure I cover every part of the meat. And again, I'll lift up a bit where the decal is. I've actually run out, so I'm just going to open up a fresh one. I hope you can still hear me, apart from the dog barking. And then what you do is I basically now pat the seasoning into the meat. Some people actually rub it. It's called rub, but I don't like to rub it because what happens when you rub it, you push the rub up into little blotchy areas. You pat it in like this, you're going to get more of an even spread. Like so. And that's really all there is to it. Now, as well as that, I use another rub on top of it. It's called Hardcore Carnivore. Again, it's a pretty funny name. Hardcore Carnivore Black. So this is what I use to rub the meat with.